So I want to speak about my experience going to the GNX concert, and I'm in Detroit, and this happened on June 10th, and I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I had one of the best times of my life in there. I'm not gonna lie, I was like a kid in a candy store. Uh, that's the first concert like I went to in like my life, period. And I ain't gonna lie, I had a lot of fun. Like I genuinely had fun. Because that's like Kendrick Lamar is like my favorite artist in the world. Like no bullshit. Like I've been listening to Kendrick since I've been 10 years old. And it's crazy, and I was just listening because my brothers were listening to him, and then that was kind of like the start of where I fell in love with his music, and and they say that's kind of parasocial, where you kind of like it's kind of like you know him, but you don't know him, but like you kind of find yourself in these artists, and that's why you relate to them so much, and that's why I love kind of being honest and vulnerable, and just being transparent and trying to be as honest as I can with like my content. Is just because of this is what I see on the internet, and this is what I see in like my favorite forms of media is people being honest, people being real, and just trying to give you the real, and it's relatable, and I can respect that. I can't respect somebody that's trying to be fake and be, act and hold up a certain type of image. I can't jive with that at all. So, and that's really the main appeal to Kendrick to me is it's just honesty, right? It's honesty, it's transparency, and just the realness of it. Even though I don't go through the same thing he go through, it's a sense of familiarity with it, and I can appreciate that. But like I said, I'm gonna go back to that, speak on that later. But I went to the concert. Like I said, I was a kid, like in a candy store. I'm sitting there like I'm in there singing every song. I'm in that bit geeking. Hey, I'm in that bit singing everything. He's playing all his old shit and everything, and I'm just like, damn, like this really what it is to be alive. But me just being introspective, like what I am, I'm just analyzing everything. I'm taking in the moment. I'm not trying to record too many videos, cause I ain't gonna lie, I'm in that bitch. Hear me in the video, singing in the back and shit. I'm in that bitch. Martin, I had a dream. I'm in that bitch like these, and I'm like, damn. And I'm like, it's just crazy how like people can really like be in fucked up situations, and they can really make it. They really turn nothing into something, and it was just like it's beautiful when I was able to actually like see Kendrick in concert. Seeing Kendrick in concert to me was like seeing Michael Jackson or seeing Prince or somebody of that like level, you know, because these people are like artists, and it's like they create beautiful artwork with their music. And like I said, I always appreciate people putting in effort in their art. Like that type of shit make you want to cry, but it also inspire you to go do more and to go harder with your own life. And that's kind of, why. Like I said, if you ever look on my YouTube channel, I got like a tab where I say like the people that inspire me, like YouTubers that inspire me, and that's kind of the main point is that they be honest, they vulnerable, they real about their story, and they real about what they telling you. And it's a certain level of realness that comes with it. So with Kendrick, it's just a level of authenticity that came with it. And like I said, nobody was in there. Like I said, it was all love in the concert too. I just felt so like, I felt so much good energy inside the concert. And even though like the concert kind of was like a diss towards Drake, I'm like, I appreciated that album. Like I said, that album really, it was amazing. Like I can't, like it was nothing short of amazing. And like I'm sitting there, I keep replaying the videos. Like let's see if I get some time where I'm just chilling. I'm replaying the video, just trying to relive like being at the concert. And I ain't gonna lie, I can't wait. Hopefully he going tour again. I know he, kind of at the tail end of his like, his career to a certain extent. Like the first stage of his career. And I think he's gonna start like another one. But I don't know if he's gonna go on tour again. So like I said, but if he go on tour again, I gotta go. There's no doubt about it. But yeah. That's kind of my experience on the GNX tour. Like I said, and I seen so many white people in there. I'm like, damn. And it was also just like a perspective change. Like, during the concert, like, I forgot what song it was playing, but he was like showing like a slideshow of like him like as a baby and as a kid. And I don't know. And it was just telling the story of him. And I think that's the beauty of like artists like him. They reflect something back to you. They reflect the realness back to you, like their own life, and you start to reflect on your own life, and you start to have confidence within yourself and your path, because everybody's path don't start the same. Everybody, we start off at a lower position, and as long as you're willing to put the work in and stay focused, and you can really get far with your life. Like I said, you never know what's in store for you. You never know what's at the end of your path or what's farther down your path. And I guess Kendrick Lamar, to me, is like the testament of that. Like, I guess when you, like I said, hearing his albums and you just go deeper into what he's saying and just hearing how, you know, the neighborhood he came from, the place that he came from, and the fact, you know, he able to twist that and turn that around, it's something beautiful and amazing and something to take pride in. It's just something that is worthy of emulating and trying to do for yourself. And I guess that's kind of what I try to do for myself. I want to take pride in where I'm from. I want to make a difference where I'm from. I have a urge to make a difference in the world. I want to. Like, I have a desire to. And I know people may look at me like that's corny, but that's the truth of who I am. Like, you know. And I hope and I pray that I'm able to make a difference. And I hope that I can make a difference in people's lives. You know, I'm not perfect. Like I said, I'm not the best person. Like I said, we all go through our own problems and our own demons, but you know, I still have that desire to want to make the world a better place. You know, whether it's one person at a time. You know, and like I said, now if I could be honest, that's kind of how Kendrick influenced me in a way. It influenced me to, you know, appreciate, you know, the path and appreciate, you know, the journey that we all go through. So, yeah, and I guess that's kind of why, like, you know, I felt free at the concert. I didn't, like I said, I wasn't looking at nobody looking at me crazy because I was like being like a little kid singing all the Kendrick songs, all the popular songs, you know, all his hits and shit like that. Even like the ones that people wasn't singing and didn't know about, I was still singing them. I felt so free, like, and that's not a common feeling that most people feel. Like, most people can't experience that freedom. That freedom can only really exist when, you know, when you're in that state of like acting being a child, right? And I feel like a little kid. I'm like, you know, kind of like being your hero and your idol. I know people look at me sideways, but that's like real shit. Like, you know, if I could meet him, I would. And like I said, that's probably one person I would be starstruck over meeting. I would try my hardest not to be starstruck because I just know that he is that type of person. Or people like J. Cole and them, they even though they famous people, they regular people. They like you know, I wouldn't want to be like, oh my God, you know, like that. But you know, those two people, they inspired me to be real and be honest, and you know, and try not to be fake. And not saying I don't have my moments where you know, I gotta front, like I said, because we all do. Like I said, think about it. In most people's lives, like I said, they haven't told the truth. Like, they live in a lie right now. Most people are living a lie right now. So I would never ever look at myself like, oh, you know, try to look down on people for lying. You know, but you know, that's neither here or there. Bottom line, I enjoyed the concert, you know, and like I said, this is just me reflecting on, you know, how, you know, it was a good night and how I, you know, took it and how it really changed my perspective on everything. So, yeah, like I said, it just confirms that, you know, dreams can really come true if you work hard enough, you know, and if you're lucky enough, but that's funny. You know, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So, yeah. So if y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you.